Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto channel on all the interwebs, formerly known as the driver of a nice Hellcat. It's a long story. Guys, my name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I'll show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, then definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, you'll have a chance to win a full Bitcoin. So, a little different look today, guys. Shooting backwards in the studio. I've got such a crazy story to tell you guys at the end about my Hellcat. You're not going to believe it. Wow, it's really crazy. So stick around for that. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about some huge Binance news that's going to have a reverberating effect on Binance Coin and a new Tesla coin, guys. That's right, a Tesla coin. We're talking about why this is really big for Binance. And it could eat away at the prospects of one of our favorite crypto projects. We're also going to be taking a look at VeChain partnering with SalesForce. Absolutely huge news. Price skyrocketed today. A lot of you guys have made a lot of money with VeChain. I know I just bought some recently over the weekend, bought a lot more, like basically quadrupled my holdings in VeChain, or maybe even more than that, and it has paid off. So we're going to be talking about that. First, though, guys, I do want to let you guys know, tomorrow we have our big launch with Wax for our Bitverse comics NFTs. We've been working on these for 6 months, really in reality. We've been actually working on this since the beginning of this channel. It's what BitBoy started off as, was a comic series. Really excited to bring that thing full circle. But let's talk about Binance right now. So a project we love, Synthetics. Basically, their idea is to create a synthetic version of every asset out there that anyone can buy. Why? Well, sometimes this works with a gimbal. Why? Because people in other countries aren't allowed to buy U.S. stocks. Actually, there was a story we covered a couple years ago where an entire exchange in China got shut down because they were offering American stocks like Apple to their customers. And, you know, they got raided. It was a big ordeal. IOST was like involved. That was the main exchange. They did for their voting. It was really ugly. Did not mean anything to do with IOST. It was called the BIS exchange, BISS. And it really brought up the need for regulation when it comes to being able to buy these assets. Well, the thing is that Synthetics really kind of skirted around all that and said, we're going to make derivatives versions of these, which means basically kind of like paper trading, if you will. You're going to be able to not paper trading in terms of practice trading, paper trading in terms of like trading paper Bitcoin on futures contracts. Like you're trading the asset, but really you're just creating, or you're really just trading a fake version of it. We've talked about how big the derivatives market is before. It's a quadrillion dollars, 10 times. I think that's like 1,000 times bigger than the stock market. It's insane how much money that is. But that's the derivatives market. It's huge. Synthetics was going to be able to pick off a lot of that. Well, now we've got Binance.com coming up with a version of a Tesla token. Now, Tesla token is it going to be available to United States citizens, Turkey citizens, or China citizens? Why? Well, you can just buy Tesla here. You don't in the United States. Turkey obviously just has some weird restrictions. And then when it comes to China, I already explained to you, like China hates American stock. So even though it's a derivatives version, Binance could be getting in trouble with China if they were to do that, right? So this is big because this allows access to every other country in the world to be able to buy a version of Tesla stock, a tokenized version of the stock. In fact, it may be like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It might not be a 1-to-1, ratio of the stock to the stock price to the token. They may split it down so people could own, kind of pieces of Tesla shares instead of having to own an entire share. If you think about people in third world countries, that makes sense. Well, guys, if this is successful for Binance, there's no limit to what they could do here. There's no limit to these stocks that they could be offering to their crypto customers. So something to keep in mind, this for Binance Coin, I never saw a route for them to possibly pass Ethereum eventually. But I tell you what, I thought Synthetics could be the biggest DeFi project ever based on what it was doing. And if Binance Coin is going to be taking part in that as well, and Binance is, then hey, it's going to be absolutely massive. So, I definitely don't think it's going to pass Ethereum. I think Ethereum still is going to be number 2, but it is definitely going to start chipping away, and we could actually see a race between those two projects. VeChain, wow, big news. Partnering with SalesForce. Now, this is going to be using the VeChain Thor blockchain to do do data sharing between different, pieces of businesses. If you don't know what SalesForce is, it's a CRM or a customer. I don't even know what CRM stands for. You guys know I'm not in that corporate stuff. But basically what it is it's systems for businesses. God, I cannot believe I don't know what CRM stands for. I'm so embarrassed. But it's CRM software. So it's customer support. It's basically internal functions. I know what it is. I've been with a company that used it before. But SalesForce is the #1 CRM software in the world, actually. And they've got the biggest building in San Francisco. If that tells you anything, if you know anything about San Francisco and how expensive it is to live there, I mean, a hole in the wall costs $1 million, and they've got the biggest building in San Francisco. They got a huge conference every year, for SalesForce that's gigantic. They actually bring cruise ships into the bay for people to stay on. That's how massive that conference is. But I can tell you this. SalesForce is one of the top companies in the world. I don't know literally where it ranks. But if you think about blockchain, think about supply chain, the next obvious step from that would be CRM kind of software. Because if you think about tracking supply chains, moving supply chains, into customer systems. God, I cannot talk right now. Because you know why? Because I got a text about my stolen car. That's what just happened. I got a text from my adjuster about my stolen car while I'm trying to make this video. And I saw that. Got me a little distracted. Can't wait to tell you about that one. But if you think about supply chain tracking, the next obvious integration would be into kind of data software systems, because where is that supply chain tracking going to go? It's going to go into systems and get integrated. That's what I was trying to say. So very obvious, connect there. And it's going to be massive that they're using each other. They're official partners. This is one of the biggest partnerships in crypto. And I can tell you, VeChain's already got a lot. Surged over 13 cents today. It's going to keep going for sure, I believe. So absolutely massive. Well, let's talk now, guys. If you just came for the crypto, there it was. You just got it. Bitcoin, sideways, good for altcoins. Let me tell you what happened. I get back from my trip to the Atlanta airport. I went to Florida, Clearwater, Florida this weekend, met some people, some recognized me, talked to a few people out there. Shout out to everybody that came up and talked to me while I was at the beach. I love it. I love that. You'll never bother me ever. If you see me out in public, just know that, you're my people. You're the BitSquad. So, if you ever see me, definitely come up and talk. Say, hey, tell me how long you've been watching the channel, and who knows, maybe I'll give you a crypto tip. But so I'm in Florida relaxing, and I get back today, and I'll be danged if I get back to the airport. I'm walking up there, and I'm like, I know where I parked. My car is not here. I think it's stolen. We end up getting in a little van. They ride around in the airport security, and they're like, no, your car's not stolen. That doesn't happen here. It never happens. Well, sure enough. Apparently when you go to the Atlanta airport, they scan your tag and they know exactly where you park. They ride around and they scan every tag. They know exactly where you park. We're literally sitting in front of this section. It's like J15. And they're like, yeah, his car is in J15. We're literally there. It's not there. Yeah, sure enough, my car got stolen. Found out that what happened is right after I left, guys, let's be for real about this. Obviously an inside job here from the airport. So from the airport parking. So what happens is and a lot of the guys that we talked to about this at the Atlanta airport, I will say they were very nice and helpful. So definitely don't want to throw any of them under the bus. Who knows? Could have been one of them. I don't know. They're always a nice guy, right? So what happened is I got to the airport 2:00 on Thursday, getting ready to leave. By 6:54 that night, someone had already stolen it. So it was not even there for 5 hours. So, of course, now it's been gone for 4 days. I'll never see it again. I don't know how they got it. I don't know how they got in. I don't know. But what I do know is my Hellcat is gone, and I don't think I'll ever see it again. I just had red calipers put on it last week, so really upset about that. So basically, a guy came in. He got a ticket for the parking, and he met the guy who stole the car, and he took that ticket. And then the guy that came in second, he actually said he lost his ticket. And when you lose your ticket at the airport parking, what they do is they tell you, or that you have to hand over your license. So I know they got this guy's information. Will they ever do anything with it? I don't know. But you know what, guys? New car. It looks like I'm going to be getting a new car. I'm probably not going to wait for him to, get all this taken care of. I'll probably just go and, cop a new ride. But TJ says he doesn't want it to be a Lambo because we already got the Lambo ordered. It's not going to be here for a year. What do you guys think? What do you guys think I should get? What should the next car that I get be? I'm thinking about the Dodge Superstock. I really like Dodges. It's 807 horsepower, so a little bit faster than the Hellcat. It's like built for racing. It doesn't look as sexy as the Hellcat, but you guys know I'm going to sexify that thing for sure. You know, sexify it. So, all right, guys, drop them down below. Let me know what you guys think. I can't believe this just happened. If you guys know what happened at our meetup on Thursday, to go from that, leaving, going to Florida, and coming back, and my car's gone. They said it never happens at the airport. They said, like, a guy said he's been there 4 years, never seen a car stolen there. So, a little sketchy if you ask me. So we're going to hopefully figure out what happened. But either way, I'll get a car. It'll be fine. You know, Teflon over here. All right, guys, that's all I got. Drop some comments down below. Love you guys. Be blessed. Big boy out.